Welcome back to Spurs Speak with Kesh. It's the weekly Hart Waffle, and finally we are here to celebrate a win for Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League because it was Tottenham Hotspur 1, Wolves 0 at the Molineux Stadium. And I can't put into words how sad it feels to be celebrating this much for a 1-0 win against a team that's in 20th. And we're going to break this game down by a few things. I'm going to start with an overall review of the game and individual players on our end, who I think played really well, who I think should have played better, where I see the improvements in potential squad selection, rotation, that sort of thing as well. Then we're going to move into some key moments in the game before finally moving into what's next, where do we go from here, who are our next fixtures, how do we get through it, and ultimately, is there a way that we realistically get saved from relegation? So let's get into it. Wolves have been shocking for probably 70 to 80% of the season so far. Apart from the last few weeks, I'd say since Rob Edwards came in, to be fair to them, they've actually improved so much. If they had him from the start and they were playing like this from the start, they would not be in the position they're in. So that plays a part. We are coming off quite a heartbreaking draw against Brighton, where Brighton had also been playing fantastic football. They're probably the best team on form in the league right now. And we had them, we dominated them, we should have got 3 points and we couldn't get it. So those feelings of this could be, this could not be, they were running rampant in my mind, to be honest, throughout this game. It was 2 a.m. here in Australia by full time, it was 2 a.m. When Palhinha's goal went in, I was running around my house screaming for him, beating my chest like this, wearing this exact kit actually, because the feeling of finally getting a win. I think relegation has taught me so much about football, and before that Palhinha goal went in, to be honest, I had fully accepted that we were going down. Especially with West Ham being 1 goal up in their game against Everton, it was painful to realise that we were about to be 5 points away from safety. And in 4 games, I didn't see us saving those 5 points. So to end up getting that goal, Palhinha, the man who equalised against Wolves earlier in the season, and I criticised him for celebrating because he shouldn't be celebrating and equalising against Wolves, especially at home. Get the ball. Let's get the winner. This one was the winner. So please go celebrate. The players deserved it. You could tell by the reactions at full time how badly the players wanted it. Going into the individual performances, first, Antonin Kinski. The mentality to come back from what happened at Atletico. I want us to sign James Trafford. I've accepted Vicari's leaving. Part of me wants to just give it to Kinski. I think at a minimum, if we do go for Trafford, we need to rotate them week in, week out, or close enough to, but that makes me think Trafford won't come because his biggest reason is minutes, right? So it's one to think about going into the summer, depending on where we end up finishing. But Antonin Kinski, what a performance. Quality shot stopping, quality on the ball. I don't think anyone can criticize really anything he did. He deserved that clean sheet and he worked hard for it, rightfully so. Other than him, I think overall the defense was quite solid. Pedro Porro, I wasn't very impressed with throughout the game, but Kevin Danso and Micky van der Ven, fantastic performance. At left back, we had Jed Spence. He played quite well as well, both going forward and defensively. I think he dealt well with Wolves' attack. We, of course, let the occasional chance come through, but overall, apart from set pieces, they didn't really have much in terms of chance creation opportunities. So I think we can't really criticize the defense too much, to be honest. Moving into midfield, of course, Palhinha, Lucas Bergvall both came off the bench, replacing Basuma, Bentancur, and Conor Gallagher in that starting midfield. Look, before the game, not the midfield I would have picked at all, but Basuma, what a performance. You never know with Basuma. So that could work really well for these relegation games. It feels like he's really hitting some form at the right time. He played quite well against Brighton as well. So it seems like De Zerbi really likes him. Back him for the 4 games and see how he performs because he played well. Bentancur, I wouldn't say the same for. I think it was okay. Could have improved. Conor Gallagher, though, very impressive performance. After all the criticism I've given him all season, just the idea of his signing, I think he played really well today. He stepped up for what we need out of a 200k a week player, and that was really, really nice to see. So really happy to see Connor get those minutes in and some quality minutes. The front three, look, not my ideal front three. It was ultimately Xavi Simons, who, credit to him, before his injury was playing immense. I said it in my video where I introduced De Zerbi's tactics to our squad, and I back it. Xavi Simons has been unlocked by De Zerbi, and he's playing really quality football under him, and I think that will continue. I think, hoping this isn't an ACL injury and it just is something that takes him out for the summer and he's back at the start of next season. If we're in the Premier League, he is going to be immense. He's going to be so key for us, especially under De Zerbi. So great performance from him. Kolo Muani could have been a lot better. I really liked him at the start of this game. I think for the first time since he joined us, I saw him taking on his man. I saw him trying to create, do something, and it just sort of fell off 15, 20 minutes in. De Zerbi addressed it in his press conference as well. He thinks his confidence isn't there, and I would have to agree with that. I think Kolo Muani, me personally, I wouldn't be starting him anymore, but if we can get those glimpses out of him, I think if we can get him off the bench and do that for that last 20, 30 minutes, he will guaranteed create something there. And then Solanke up top, I think, was really poor. I don't think he offered too much. Off the ball movement wasn't terrible, but on the ball, there was just nothing. He, of course, came off due to injury for Richarlison in the second half. Richarlison, I don't think did much better, to be honest. It's really that 9 position we're struggling. Matistel is probably the only one of our 4 strikers where I could say they played well throughout their time on the field today. So Matistel, look, I would love to see him starting more. I want to see him starting, especially with Xavi now gone. He's probably going to have to. I would love to see him in the 9. I think that could be a unique change if we put Richarlison on the left and play Tell in the 9. Solanke will have to drop to the bench for that. Whether that's practical, I don't know, given the current injury status that we're at. On those injuries, how has this happened? 3 ACL injuries, if Xavi's is an ACL injury, in the same season. Maddison, Odegaard, and now Xavi. That is insane. That is unrealistic. That is a reflection of a horrendous medical team or this freaking retractable stadium. I don't know what it is. I know it's an away ground, but clearly our players are used to playing on the retractable pitch or something, because there's no explanation as to why we have so many injuries. It does not make sense, to be honest. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to do with it. Since Roberto De Zerbi came in, he's only managed 3 games, and we've had Mohamed Kudus, Xavi Simons, Dom Solanke all go down. Romero as well. Romero, we know what happened with Brian Brobby. But it's a joke. How are we getting so many injuries? How are players so unprepared? Udogi now is injured as well. This is a growing list in just 3 game weeks. And as we feel like we're getting out of the injury crisis, we're back in one again. We've got 8 players out. That's probably more than any other team at this point in the season. So it is insane how bad our injuries are. I don't know who needs to be held accountable. I don't even know how to hold them accountable. We've done 3 medical staff changes. What the hell is going on at Tottenham Hotspur with injuries? I don't know. But even with that, we have to look at the next games, right? We have 4 games to save ourselves. These players at this point, it's not down to quality. It's not down to ability. It is down to heart. It is down to passion. You see the way West Ham play. You see the way Forest play. It doesn't need to come down to individual ability. Of course, they are saved by a Jared Bowen and a Morgan Gibbs-White, who are playing quite good football to save them. But at the same time, a lot of their attack is not driven by just those players. It's literally just systematic football. And that's what we're going to have to rely on now with all the injuries that we have. Use those wingers. We have Randall Kolo Muani on one wing. We'll have Matistel on the other. And we're just going to have to go to systematic creation, which can get a bit predictable at times, and hope for the odd set-piece goal like we had today where we can, because that's really the only options we have with the amount of injuries we have out. So looking forward towards those games, though, we've got next up Villa away. Now, I was hoping Villa would beat Fulham so that we could have potential of a rotated 11 against us, because they would be 8 points clear in the Champions League places at that point. That didn't happen. Villa, 55 points. Brighton are only 50 points behind them. With the Europa League semi-final around that same time, I don't think we're going to see a rotated 11, which is a bit frustrating. But I honestly think the way Villa are playing, we need to take advantage of this. They've been okay, but they haven't been out of their skin. Fulham just beat them, and I think we have dominated Brighton and we dominated Wolves yesterday. We've played good football. We need to get that chance creation somehow. I don't know where that's going to come from, but I could see us keeping Villa from scoring and potentially getting the 3 points. I had this as a loss for us. If you see my relegation run-in video, you see that I actually had this as a guaranteed loss against Villa. I think we could leave with a point, if not 3, potentially the way they're playing. After that, we have Leeds at home. That I said it before this game. I said if we don't win this game, as in even if it's a draw or loss, we are definitely going down. Hence, a few minutes before Palhinha's goal, I had accepted we're going down. But with Leeds, same thing. It is an absolute must-win. If we lose that game, season's done. We're going down no matter what. Leeds at home is a game we need to win, and I think we can win. They're playing good football, but they just don't have anything to play for anymore. They're safe. They're not getting relegated. They're not going to Europe. They're probably not going to catch 12th or 13th even. They have nothing to play for. So is that a positive? Is that a negative? I don't know. I think it's a positive. I think we go out there and we win, and we have to. And after that, we've got the away at Chelsea game. And again, a chance to capitalize on a team that's not playing in good form. They're down to 8th right now. If they lose their next game, they could be down to 12th. And Chelsea, I don't think they have the mentality to really recover from that. They've now lost their manager. They don't have direction. I think there's a really good chance here that we can get a point at Stamford Bridge. If not, push for a win. We could really do it and save our season there. I don't know who's going to do it again, comes to chance creation, but Chelsea have not been good enough for me to say that we're definitely losing that game. I think we might actually win it. And finally, on that last game of the season, who knows what will happen? We're at home to Everton. Hopefully Everton do us a favour like they did for West Ham last night. Admittedly, I celebrated hard when Dewsbury Hall scored. Did not expect Callum Wilson to jump back. It's a scary thought because West Ham's mentality is clearly really strong to be able to get pegged back in the 84th minute and still come back before the 90 minutes are up and score. So we'll see what happens from there. We can only hope that we can pull off the results here. Week by week, I'll be coming back to you with the weekly White Hart Waffle because it's getting tense here. It's getting interesting, and it will stay interesting for a few more weeks. But thank you for watching. It's been the weekly White Hart Waffle on Spurs Speak with Cash. Make sure to like, comment what you think is going to happen for the rest of the season. Who was our best player yesterday? Who was our worst player yesterday? Make sure to subscribe. We're getting some good views here. Most of you aren't subscribed. How are you going to know what my next post is? How are you going to know what's coming up next? So make sure to click that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.